Hello, War of the Visions newbies, this is Suspect Amy, and this is just sort of a chatty video, a little more unplanned than my usual videos. I just wanted to have a discussion with everyone on how they gauge whether or not someone is early game or mid game or late game. I originally wanted to do a newbie guide getting into Porcelain Tower. This was my first time doing this tower, and it was a fun learning experience, but crazy enough, you can't reset it whenever you want to try out different strategies. So that video idea died a horrible death. Although, maybe for the better since everyone hates Tower so much. However, the Tower did make me realize something, and that's that I need way more leveled up units. As a quick account review, I came back to the game just over a month ago, and as you can see, thanks to some timely Viz purchases, I'm doing okay. I have plenty of 140 URs now, and all of my elemental teams are slowly starting to fill out and clear content. Some teams are stronger than others, but that's pretty normal. Am I early game? Am I mid-game? I would actually love to hear your thoughts on how to gauge this. I don't know, you probably can't truly tell unless I go through all of my VCs, espers, equipment, and whatnot, but I feel like the key metric has to be number of leveled up characters, right? See, you can generalize a lot of your espers, vision cards, and equipment, and if you have a couple dozen decent pieces of each, you can sort of get by on equipping the same batch of stuff on any team. At this stage of the game, when I have trouble clearing a mission, I don't say, I would have cleared this mission if I had X sword instead of Y sword. It's always, why does my win team have a bunch of level 89 units on it? If these were level 140, I would have cleared this. So to me, units are the primary metric to gauge game progression, and I feel like espers, VCs, and equipment just come along for the ride naturally. Let's break down my thoughts here. Here's all of the elements laid out, and this line right here is about how many units you need to make one team. Maybe early game is when you have like a couple of 120 plus element teams to your name. For example, Earth and Fire here. There are some high-cost purple URs here, some normal blue URs, and there's also a bunch of non-URs, and they're sort of spread around, but you're new and focusing on your main elemental teams mostly at this stage. This is usually within a month of starting the game. That's early game. Now, for mid-game, I would say you need to field at least a full 120 plus team for every element. In this example, you're getting a few more high-cost URs, but your MR and normal UR game is stepping up nicely. At this stage, you can easily clear all of the little element markers in most level 80 and 90 brutal chambers. Maybe you can't full clear every brutal mission, but you get close enough with these teams. Now, in late game, your primary elemental teams should all be URs, and at least 2 or 3 on each team should be 100 cost. Everyone should be 140 as well. 120 is for noobs. However, after your main teams, you should also have enough 120 plus units left over to field a second or third team for each element, and that is late game. This stage is when you're asking those X sword versus Y sword questions. So in my book, I'm between early and mid game right now, I think. What do you guys think? Am I way off base here? Let's talk about my path to mid-game, the coveted 8 different element teams full of 120 units. I think I can get there really quickly, and that's completely based on my free units video from a couple of weeks ago. I found that if I background auto all of my energy, I can farm a new MR from the far plains to 140 in about 1 or 2 days. These MRs are fantastic, because not only can you get them to 140 really fast, but because completing the missions for them actually gives you a ton of the resources you need to level them up. This makes these guys essentially resource-free. You know who else comes with a bunch of their own leveling resources? Selection Quest units. With a shiny new batch of 140 MRs, I feel confident I can get a bunch of Selection Quest URs over 100 at least. Now that covers new units. What do I do about my dozen or so units that are all partially leveled? Let's give slow building a kick in the pants. That kick in the pants comes in the form of Gill Summons. I'll farm Gill all day Saturday and Sunday and perform 10x Gill Summons all day Monday. My goal is to burn around 500 million Gill every session and see how viable Gill Summons are for speeding up slow building. I'll probably post a video digging into this later. And that's the plan, folks. Hopefully in a month I can reliably call myself mid-game. Please leave a comment below on what you think good mid-game and late-game targets would be. I'd love to hear your thoughts. That's all I have today. Thanks for watching my video. Bye, everyone.